Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to Jay's Tech and Travel by Loyal Tech and Security. Today I wanted to discuss with you how you can repair an all-in-one HP computer and swap the hard drive from the regular hard drive to SSD. This is 1 TB hard drive. I'm going to show you how we can replace that. But before we do that, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. And if you have any questions, any comments, please feel free to put them in the comments below and I will make sure to respond to those comments and questions. So, this is the system right here. This is HP. It's all-in-one computer. And I'm not sure if you can hear the noise, but there's some noise coming from the back, which sounds like a fan or a hard drive noise, and the computer is running very slow. So today we are going to image the hard drive and swap it with this SSD hard drive, Samsung 870 Evo 1 TB hard drive. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to image this hard drive. The computer is very slow, so most part of these videos I'm probably going to fast forward, otherwise we're going to be here for a very long time. So if we go to this PC right here and we take a look at the storage right now, I believe this computer is right here 918 GB and 11.7 GB is in recovery. So when we combine that, this is about 1 TB of hard drive and 765 GB is available. So this 1 TB of hard drive should be more than enough to swap this with the old hard drive. Currently, as you can see, the performance wise, the hard disk is 100% usage right here. So that's not good. That's the reason why the computer is running very slow. It does not have a lot of memory. 8 GB is okay. It's not that much, but we are not concerned right now because it's only using 4 gig right now. CPU, it is an AMD A8, not such a powerful processor, but as long as it's not running at 100% capacity, we should be good for now. The idea is once we change this disk, this utilization from 100% should go down at least to 50% or below, and that should run the computer fast. Okay, so we need to image this system. So we are going to use a free software called Macrium Reflect. We can probably do a 30-day trial. And there you go, it's downloading. Okay, downloading is finished. Let's install it. If I take a look at the performance, you'll see the hard disk is still at 100%. And that is the main problem. It never goes down below 100%, and that's the reason why the computer is very slow. I do see the memory has gone up, which is also not a good sign because it's getting close to the 8 GB mark. Alright, so we're going to be using this for home. Run installer directly. Alright, so let's run it. Now it's going to download the actual installation file for Macrium Reflect. Look at the hard drive. It's still at 100%. So that is a clear indication that hard drive is the first problem. Ultimately, the memory can become the issue also because it's running very close to the max memory. But we can only do so much today. Swapping the hard drive should definitely we should definitely see some difference in speed. We're going to do a 30-day trial. Next, we do not want to register this. Click next. Install CBT, change block tracking for high performance backups. That's fine. Install Image Guardian, we can do that. Install VM booting, we're not going to be doing any VM, so we can keep that unchecked. And desktop shortcut is fine. Let's do the installation. It's asking to restart. I don't think I can afford that right now because the computer is so slow. So I'm going to say no. I'm going to try to get this image out. Okay, so there are two ways to back this up. Because this drive right here, let me click yes. This drive is currently using 154 GB of storage. In order to back this up, we need 154 GB of storage either on this computer as a different drive, or we can back it up on a network. Now, backing it up on a network, obviously it's going to be a little bit of a slow process because then it depends on the Ethernet card installed on this computer and the network and the wire you're using and things like that. So I'm going to keep a network as a last option. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create another drive. So right now we see C drive and D drive. I'm going to create an E drive with most of this storage because I'm going to pull the free storage from here and then create a separate drive for that. So for that, you can come to this PC right here. You can right click and click on manage. Okay, when you click on manage, it may take some time, but it will open up this window. From this window, you go to disk management. And you click on this drive, which is a 918 GB of C drive. I'm going to click on this and I'm going to say shrink volume. Shrink meaning it's going to shrink it from 918 GB to whatever I want. So I know that the drive is utilizing about 154 GB of space. I can shrink it to maybe 500 GB, which means I should get another 400 GB free available to create another partition. So I'll show you how we do that. So this is the key thing when you are working on these type of systems. You have to come up with ideas on the go, because otherwise, if I do not have a big enough external hard drive on hand, how am I supposed to back this up? If I don't have a proper network configured, I cannot back this up on a network as well. So you have to improvise in these type of scenarios. So that's what we're doing right now. Total size before shrink in MB. This is total size of available shrink space in MB. You can shrink up to this much, which this equates to about 300 GB. Total size after shrink. Once we shrink it, the C drive is going to become this. So I think this is a good partition. So let's shrink it. So it used to be 900 GB, which 918 GB. It should shrink it somewhere around 600 GB for the C drive, and it will give us about 300 GB extra, which is more than enough to run Macrium Reflect and back up this entire 154 GB image onto that new drive I'm going to create. So as you can see, Windows C drive went down to 587.57 GB. This equates to about 600 GB. 330 GB is unallocated, which means I can click on this and I can create a new volume. So click on new simple volume, go hit next. I want to utilize the entire space available, and we will call that drive E. Next, volume, we can put whatever we want. Backup, I guess we can write that, and perform a quick format. Click next and finish. It's formatting right now, and it's done. Backup E drive just came up. If you see in the back, new drive created, and look at this. This became 587 GB. It used to be 918 GB. Now we have a new drive, and I can go in here. I can do whatever I want with this. Now is when we will go to the Macrium Reflect, and we're gonna say image this disk. We want to make sure we have all of these MBs are selected because all of that is going to be needed when we clone this. So I'm gonna image this for now, and total selected 165 GB. Technically I don't really need this recovery, so if I want I can uncheck that, but these four are primary. We need this in order for this Windows to boot up. Okay, where do you want to save it? Well, I'm gonna save it in that newly created drive. So I'm gonna go to this PC, then I'm gonna scroll down and click on backup E. If I want I can create a new folder, but I don't really care about that right now. So it's just going to create an image in E drive. Everything else remains the same. Click next. We're not selecting any template, we're not scheduling anything. We are going to do full, we're not purging anything. These you can keep it standard. That's not really gonna do anything here because we are going to run the backup right now. So that's it. We're gonna click finish, run this backup now. We do not want to save this backup definition file, so leave that unchecked and run this backup now. So click OK, and it's going to start the backup process. Current progress and overall progress. This is probably going to take, depending on the speed of the computer, it's probably going to take about an hour or so. Okay, I'm gonna fast forward this and then we will come back. Okay, so the image is completed. Let's move forward from here. I'm gonna close, go to the E drive just to make sure everything is good here. We got the size of 102 GB of the image on the E drive. Now we have to create a disk, a bootable disk. So create a rescue disk, which is right here, and we're going to create this on a flash drive. This is a 32 GB flash drive. I think 8 GB or 16 GB should be enough also. You don't need a very big one. I'm going to plug this into the back of this. Alright, I don't want this to be scanned. Add boot menu. We want to make sure that we add the boot menu and Windows boot menu. Select a device. We want this on a removable USB flash drive. We want to create a rescue media on a flash drive, so it will become a bootable device. We're going to click on build. Okay, it's requesting to format the flash drive, so I'm gonna click confirm format, click OK. Look at the regular hard drive is still at 100%. It never goes down. It's a clear indication that the hard drive currently installed is bad. You see, this is as flash drive. See, it went to 0% after the usage was done. So alright, we're gonna click OK, close, just to make sure, by going to this PC, and you see right here it says Macrium PE. So that drive is ready and it's a bootable flash drive. So at this point we are done. We took the backup. We're gonna close everything. We're gonna shut down the computer and we are going to swap the hard drive. Okay, so now we are going to replace the hard drive on this. We have to open up these two screws to get this bracket out, the stand out. So let's unscrew this. Okay, the stand comes out. Now, as you can see, there are no screws here. So usually it's just a click. You see there's another screw inside. Just want to make sure if that one needs to be loosened. So I'm gonna just take that out because it seems like it is holding the front part of the screen, just to be on a safe side. I'm not 100% on that, but we'll see. Okay, so that's the only screw here. I don't see any other screws throughout. Okay, so you also want to utilize this tool. The way to do this is run it alongside here and then push it in and pry it, and you will see a little opening with a flat head. You just twist it a little bit and you should hear like a click. This side is already done. Let me do the other one so you can hear it. There you go. That was the main click. From that point forward, we should be able to open it. This right here is the hard drive. We're going to take this off. We're not going to take the screen off completely because there are a lot of wires we will have to unplug, which I do not want to do that right now. Hopefully you can see this. So before I take the hard drive out, I want to make sure we transfer everything into this. So this has a hard drive over here and a CD-ROM here. So I'm going to utilize the wires from the CD-ROM, plug this SSD in there, and then transfer everything to this SSD. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to unplug this wire right here. Okay. This I unplugged from the CD drive and I'm plugging into. Okay, hold on. The cable they have is a different cable, so I need to figure out how I need to transfer the data. Okay, so the options are very limited here. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to plug this one back in, and I do not have a external hard drive here. So I have an idea. This is what we will do. I'm going to unplug this hard drive. Okay, there's only one screw. You slide it out and you can unplug it from underneath. Okay, there you go. This is the hard drive which is out. Okay, 1 terabyte of hard drive. So I do not have the CD-ROM on this. I cannot plug in the another hard drive. In order to transfer the image from here to here, I need to have two SATA inputs, which this computer doesn't have, and I do not have an external hard drive which I can connect to this through a USB. So instead, what I'm going to do, and I don't have a flash drive that big. Well, I do have it, but it's not, it has other stuff on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this hard drive off and I'll show you, because right now at this point we are improvising. What I'm going to do now, I do have another computer which is like a regular desktop computer. I'm going to put that up here and then transfer all the data through. that computer. So let me just take this one, put it on a side. So I have this desktop here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in the hard drive in here. Let me take this one out. Remember, at this point we're improvising because we do not have the tools to transfer. So this is how I'm going to do this. So this is the hard drive. I'm going to plug it in here, and I'm going to remove the CD-ROM, and I'm going to plug in, there we go, this SSD in here. Perfect. Right here. There you go. Plug in the SSD here. Now, from this point forward, we're gonna do this on the desktop. Okay, we got the monitor, keyboard, and the power. Okay, hard drives are connected. At this point, I'm gonna turn this on, and we're gonna do everything on this monitor. Okay. I guess I will plug in the mouse also, just in case if you need it. There we go. So wireless mouse. Okay, so the hard drive is connected here. There's a primary hard drive, which is this right here. Okay, the data from here needs to be transferred here, so then I can put it into the all-in-one. I can put it into the all-in-one and then get that computer ready. Okay, because we did not have proper hard drive, external hard drive, we could not transfer it that way. So this is the way we will transfer this. Remember, this is all, we are improvising it here. I'm gonna turn this on, and let's see if we get any video. There we go. Perfect. The following, oh, I forgot to plug in this. We need to plug the bootable media. Okay, that's very important, because right now, as you can see, it's going to the Windows, which we don't want it to go to Windows. So we will reboot. So the F10 is a boot menu. I'm gonna reboot it, and this time I'm gonna press F10. I'm pressing F10 on this keyboard. There we go. Now it's asking for the boot menu. I'm gonna do USB disk. This is where the Macrium Reflect is installed. Okay, let's see. Alright, perfect. So now you can see it's booting up in Reflect, Macrium Reflect 8. That's what we wanted. There we go. So it shows up Macrium Reflect completely booted up. Now let's look at how we can restore it. So it's already showing us the image right here, as you can see in the E drive. See if we can click on restore image. Now it's going to ask us, where do you want to restore it? Source is from the E drive right here, and it has all these partitions. Destination, where do you want to restore it to? This right here is the this is not the SSD. This is the Western Digital regular hard drive showing 931 GB. So we want to look for another partition. Select a different target disk, and we will select Samsung. Okay, this is the flash drive. This is a Samsung SSD of same 1 terabyte 931 GB. So we will select this, as you can see right here. And whatever the partitions are here, it's automatically going to copy here. I'm going to click next. So see, all these partitions, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is exactly how it's going to show up. Click finish and let it do its work. So earlier it took about an hour to transfer from the old hard drive to the to get the ISO image out. Now we're replicating that from the old hard drive to the SSD. So this also is probably going to take about an hour. I'm going to fast forward it so you don't have to wait. Okay, so the restore has been completed. We're going to click OK, close, and we want to actually shut down from this point because we are going to swap the hard drive and test it out real quick. Okay, come down here, click shut down. We're not rebooting. Alright, so we're unplugging this right here, the Mac Reflect bootable media, so it does not go back into that. I'm going to make this a primary. I'm going to remove the other hard drive, which is this one. I don't know if you can see it, but this hard drive was the primary, so I'm going to remove this and make this one a primary. I'm still testing all of this into the desktop. Once it tests out fine here, then I'm going to swap this hard drive into that all-in-one. Okay, so it's right here. Let's turn it on and go back to our screen. Okay, we got an error. Let's reboot, see if that fixes the issue or not. Okay, so obviously we're having some issue. Let it do the automatic repair, see if that helps in any way. Okay, so as you can see, after the disk repair and all that, I let it go through that, and it seems like it's booting up fine with the Windows. So we're gonna see if it actually lands onto the login page and if all our files and everything is there. Oh wow, okay, so it did land here. I'm gonna log in. I want to see if everything is in there. In terms of files and all the other access. Okay, good. Now remember, this is a desktop PC with a very old processor. So as you can see, it's up at 80%. So the computer is going to be slow because of that. But we're not testing CPU here. We're only testing the disk. And you can already see the disk is at 13 to 40%, which is not bad. Okay, so the disk remains at 4%, 4 to 8%. This is very good. So I have tested this. Now I'm going to shut this down and I'm going to put this into the all-in-one computer. Alright, so this was the old hard drive, 1 terabyte, Western Digital. We have transferred everything into this Samsung 1 terabyte SSD. Okay, so we don't need this anymore. So let's put this out of the way. This was the bracket. This was plugged into here. We wanna, usually you have to get uh, a bracket for this to attach. Since we don't have that, I'm gonna see if I can somehow improvise this. We know this will be plugged in like that, and the connections need to be in the bottom. So I wonder if this screw will go in here. One should be enough because these are very light. You know, they're not heavy. Is this wire, when you put in the hard drive, it goes this way. Because if it doesn't, then you have problem. Okay, so it will go this way, which means, actually you see this, it should go this way, right, like that. Okay, which means when I put it inside this case, the hard drive needs to be like that, and the wire should be long enough to go in. So I'm gonna try it. Let's see. So let's hook this up on a screw. Alright, there we go. Okay, so I have tightened that enough. What I want to do is put another screw up top here so it holds it. So I do not have a double-sided tape, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put an electrical tape just to hold it down. There's not much function to it, and because this SSD does not get that hot anyway, it should not cause any problems. So I want to make sure that it holds down. That's my concern right now. Perfect. So this is how it's gonna go inside. Before I tighten everything, I just want to make sure this wire is going to reach, which it seems like it's going to reach the hard drive. So let me tighten this screw here. Okay, so the bracket is tightened right here. This wire needs to be plugged into the drive, so let me just gently push it up and make sure it clicks. Perfect, it clicked. Alright, now I am only going to turn this on without connecting the computer or putting the screen together. Okay, I've put a bag over here so the screen doesn't slide. Okay, and the screen is not hooked up because I just want to make sure that everything is working fine before I finalize this. Okay, so let's turn it on. Everything's plugged in. Let me turn it on. There's a button right here. keyboard and mouse is connected. Okay, as you can see, everything loaded up really fast. Let's look at the usage of the hard drive. If you remember initially when we turned it on the first time, even this task manager took a very long time to come up. Now you will see SSD, it's only at 17 to 10%, whereas CPU is the high one. And as I mentioned earlier, CPU is AMD. This is an old processor, so this was we knew that CPU utilization is going to go up eventually. But the hard disk, the one we replaced, as you can see, it is remaining under 100. It is not constant 100. As you can see, it's about 20, 60, 70. It's fluctuating because the system is still loading, but now it's going to be much faster than before. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shut down this computer, pack up everything here, and finalize this computer, the all-in-one. So let me go ahead and shut down. Just to show you, hard drive is all plugged in. We have not done anything here. All the wires we intentionally did not take it out because some of the wires, there are tapes on it, and we did not want to take that out, especially this one right here. So we kept everything the way it is. Now we're just gonna lock all the screen and then put the screws up, and this should be all good to go. Okay, so let's put it down. I will have to remove this because there's a screw underneath which I need to tighten. Okay, all sides are clicked in, good. And if you remember, there was a screw right here we need to put in. Okay, the screw is tightened. We're gonna put this stand, tighten this final stage. Perfect. One more test. Last time. I'm gonna plug in everything back. So as you can see, it's loading up really fast. Before it just kept spinning and spinning, and you could also hear the noise coming out of the back of the hard drive. Now it's loading up pretty fast. Okay, perfect. We don't need the Macrium reflex, so that's something we can just go ahead and uninstall it. So I can already see the responsiveness and the quick window opening here. Like, things are actually much faster. Before it took even longer to like load files, open up any software. It took a very long time. Now it's just very fast. So this is what we did with this computer. We replaced the hard drive, regular hard drive, to SSD, and it gave us a very good speed. Okay, we're gonna remove Macrium reflect, and then we should be all good to go. Just before I end this video, I want to make sure that I show you how the hard drive is set up. So if you go to this PC, you should see the C drive exactly like how it was before, 775. We'll do this reboot later on, but if you like, we can do the same. We can shrink this storage if you want, but we don't need to, because right now we have the entire 918 GB available here. Okay, so that was it, guys. If you like the video and if you think this really helped you out, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I usually try to submit a lot of videos related to these type of issues most of you will come across. As you can see, we had issues. We were not able to transfer the file, but we had to improvise, and this is what you will have to do if you're working in IT field. You will not have everything you need to do the job. You will always have to somewhere improvise and figure out how you can finish the job. So that's what we did today. We had a spare computer. We transferred all the files from this old hard drive into the SSD from this computer, and then we took both of those hard drives out, put it into the regular desktop computer, transferred everything from the hard drive to the SSD, and then we plugged the SSD into this computer, and you can see it's working fine. So that was what we had to do to improvise and get the files transferred. So I hope you liked the video. Again, make sure you like and subscribe the channel, and if you have any questions, any comments, make sure to type them in the comments below, and I'll be more than happy to respond to any of your questions. Okay, you guys have a nice day. Thank you.